obviously I know the big names, like WALID Sharks. I've actually been watching him since 2019, and he's with his fight against Adam Saleh. And I
Okay.
just remember I was like, man, I could beat these guys.
What is good, people? Welcome to another episode of Thunderbox. I'm joined here today by the Tasmanian Devil. Taz, how are you, brother?
I'm all good, bro. Thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's a
Can't wait
pleasure,
to
man.
actually, be out there for the fans to see when I get to fight.
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming on. And it's a pleasure to have you on here, man. And thank you for agreeing to doing this, bro. It's a real pleasure, man. So thank you. So first question, like, let's find out about Taz. Where are you from? Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Okay, so first of all, I'm Filipino. Like I come from a great lineage and culture of fighters, Manny Pacquiao,
Mhm.
the great Nonito Donaire. Like there's plenty of fighters. And in the Misfit scene, there's already a few actually, obviously leading the way, the OG, Salt
Salt
Papi.
Pappy, yep.
Salt Papi, the OG, he's the one that paved the way for really guys like me. And then eventually AJ Bunker, small
Hmm.
small Spartan J, which is actually, I respect a lot. We've been in touch with each other for a while now. I've been
Hmm.
following his journey. And yeah, I'm Filipino, but I'm British. So I live in England. I've been
Hmm.
living here since I was 10 years old. I'm 26 now, 26 years young. And I was born actually in Tabuk, Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
Shout out to
wow.
Saudi Arabia. Yeah, because
Okay.
my mom is working as a nurse back then, and that's where I was born. And then I moved to the Philippines, and that's where I was raised really. So from a young, like, young kid till I was 10, then we moved to England. So that's my
Yeah.
story of, where I came from and how the Tasmanian Devil came to be, really.
So what was it like growing up in the Philippines?
I mean, I used to live in the mountains because my grandparents raised me. So my parents wasn't there. So it was my grandparents and my aunties and my cousins really that raised me. And we used to live in the mountains, like in the boondocks, like in a place that's just like quiet, just farming. And then eventually I moved to the barrios of the Philippines.
Mhm.
I live up north in the Philippines, and I mean it's a simple way of living. Like,
Yep.
back then there obviously wasn't no phones, there was nothing, and you really get to just play around, be a kid, be free.
Yeah.
And like I didn't really get to experience that in England because the culture differences is just, it's a big difference. And being in the Philippines, I just always had fun in the streets, like in the rice fields, just playing. And that's actually where I first laced up my gloves,
Oh,
like in the
wow.
streets, fighting, just in the streets, with the kids. And older people would get you to fight each other, this and
Wow.
that. And then, like, yeah, that's just our culture. You start off young in the Philippines, so you learn how to box. Because in the Philippines, there's only really two ways, right? So you go basketball or boxing. Like there's only two sports. And
Okay.
I actually picked basketball at the beginning, but because of my height, it just didn't really fare too well for me. So I went to boxing, and that's when I found my passion, and that's when I started, working at it, and slowly became better and better, and I just became addicted to the progress.
Awesome, man. So when you came over to England, like where did you stay? Where you live in? Like what area?
So in England, I live in southeast London,
Okay.
so in Orpington. That's
Orpington.
where
Yeah,
I
I know.
live.
I know Orpington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's still where I live now. This is where I've been all my life. But I train in Central though. So I've always trained around Central. It is a bit of a mission, to get up there and train. But
Yeah.
you gotta make the sacrifices. And I've been boxing for a long time now. Been boxing for 16 years.
Mm.
Starting at amateurs and then like white collar and then obviously this.
Okay. So you did do amateurs, yeah?
Yeah, so but it was only like one fight. Like I said, it was just one and then one. Because the thing is with me, it's just like when I was younger, my head was just everywhere. Bad influence, wrong
Hmm.
group of friends. I never really quite got the mix of like having the perfect mindset and the perfect opportunity. Because when I had the perfect mindset, the opportunity wasn't coming. And then when I
Right.
had, more opportunities, my mindset just wasn't there. And really, I had to work a lot on myself, because I took a 6 year hiatus or a gap in boxing where I just stopped.
Mm.
Right, I'll still be boxing just in my garage, but really, no one heard from me. I just kind of just died really without my passion. And so I had a lot of time to think to myself and develop myself as a person and grow closer to my faith in God. And I became stronger and now I'm here.
Well, awesome, man. So like now you've like developed a stronger mindset. You've developed the love and drive to your passion more,
Yeah.
and you've developed more spiritually. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome, man. That's great, bro. Um, yeah. So also, I've been seeing like about you've been doing like a weight loss journey, and
Yeah.
I'm curious to see or hear and what that's been like for you because I'm currently on my weight loss journey too. And it's been a rough ride, man. A lot of weight have dropped off, but I want to hear your side of it. So like, how much were you weighing when you started?
I'm actually, it's a funny story because I'm like a weight loss master at this, point now because I've done it like multiple times.
Mm.
The first one though was in 2017. So in 2017, I dropped 25 kg in 6 months, and that was
Oh,
preparing for my white collar fight. I'm
okay.
not sure if you're familiar with Quest or
Yeah,
Queensbury
yeah, I
boxing.
know Quest. Yeah,
So
Queensbury is all Frank Warren. Yeah, I work with Frank's brother.
yeah, so that's where I used to like do my white collar stuff.
Okay,
But when I was preparing for that, I was I was around 82 kg and I went down to 57 kilograms. So
okay.
25 kg.
Do you know that
So
in stones at all?
stones, I fought at 9 stone, but I'm not quite familiar with like the stones.
Okay,
Not sure the weight.
no worries.
So that was my first one. And after that, really, I gained it all back because that white collar fight, I took a loss. It was
Okay.
my debut one. But mentally, I just wasn't really prepared. I just, when life hits you, it hits you.
Mm.
And that's when it starts coming back again. And then I gained a ton of weight again. Because when you do it so drastically, when you lose that weight so drastically, sometimes your body isn't and your mind isn't prepared to take all that, stress.
Mm.
That's why once you get that relief after the fight, you see this with fighters like Ricky Hatton, plenty of other guys that you just bulk up again because
Yeah, you pile
like
it back
you
on.
get exactly because of that freedom and
Mm.
lack of discipline really when you're younger. And then eventually I gained it all back. And then this time around I went up to 105 kg.
Okay.
So I mean I think that's like 16 stones or something. I
Okay.
mean, I'm only a small guy. I'm 5'2". I mean, that's like morbidly obese,
Yeah.
right? And only last year, really, I took, I took, it, I took it upon myself to change my life, like everything, like creating content, boxing again. It only started in the 5th of February, which is ironic because that's exactly 1 year later when my fight was announced with Misfits. So I
Right.
mean, li life's crazy like that, If you just keep on working, you just never know what can happen. And
Definitely.
and I went back down last year to 65 kg.
Mhm.
So from 105 to 65. So 40 kilograms lost in total. So yeah, that's my weight loss journey. And my biggest advice to you or anyone out there that's trying to, lose weight or on their own journey is that really a lot of the diets work. If you train hard, if you get, with a personal trainer, all of this will work. But the main thing that people don't really understand is that you don't gain weight just randomly. It's a mental thing,
Mm.
right? You let yourself go. That's what they always say.
Mm.
So really, you need to keep yourself disciplined at all times. Like your mind has to be on point, or you have to keep your guard up all the time in life. So when death comes, when heartbreak, loss, failure, all of this comes your way, you can't be stress eating because that's what I did. And that's, I find comfort in food. And you just have to, really maintain a balance. Like
Mm.
you can't get off, the bike, so to speak. You can't
You
just
gotta be
fall off.
you gotta be like consistent.
Exactly,
It's
exactly. And
consistency.
it doesn't have to be perfect every single time, but as long as you're just doing something every
Yeah.
day, Like that's the main like key component really, like how I'm actually achieved that. Because before I used to go big, like if I'll gain I'd eat a lot and then I'll lose it again the next day. That's just unsustainable, and it's not really efficient if you want to go far in your life and anything.
That's true, man. So what's like your routine like? So like what's your diet like? What type of diet are you on? And like how do you implement that with your training? How often do you train?
So last year when I went on the weight loss journey, really for me it's all about keeping it simple and what's maintainable and doable for me. So I love food, right? And as a
Same here,
Filipino,
man. Same here. I'm
as a
Turkish, bro.
Philip, yeah, I can imagine, man.
Yeah, man.
As a Filipino, like there's no meal. A meal doesn't even count if there's no rice in it,
Right,
right?
okay, I hear
You,
you, yeah.
you gotta have rice, and you can't just be a bowl of rice. It's got two bowls. You keep that energy.
Mm,
So for me, like the devil really is like the temptation is the rice.
mm,
So I just eliminated the number one thing that would lead me to binge eating, and that was rice and carbs, really. So
okay.
like bread, like I love pizzas as well. Everything that I used to have like Domino's essentially like 2 3 times a week, man, and that was just tough. But what I done is also I went intermittent fasting just to
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
limit
yeah.
myself,
I'll
right? So
do
I
that.
started off.
I'll do
It's
that.
it's actually
I
really
still
good.
do that now. You know,
It's amazing, right?
it
Like
becomes like your lifestyle. It's just like natural now. I don't eat
exactly.
nothing till like 12 o'clock lunchtime.
Exactly. And if you eat too much, actually your body, like 3 times a day, once you actually get used to, a natural state of fasting, like 3 times a day just feels so like superfluous. Like it just makes you feel sick sometimes.
Mm.
Like with me, my body's so used to it now. Like I can't even eat, twice a day really, because it's
So
just
you
too
only
much.
eat once?
Yeah, last year, I only ate once. So that was my trick really that really helped me, because even if I ate a lot, it won't be as much, you know? Because
Right,
a lot of
yeah.
the times it's like I would eat this, and then after this, well, what am I gonna eat next? What am I gonna eat next? And I would eat 4 to 6 times a day. And I
Mm.
was like, this has got to stop. So I had to put a stop on that. And one meal a day was like the perfect fit for me, because it
And
would limit.
was that a big meal?
At the beginning, it was quite big. I'd have like a big meal, and sometimes the meals would last for like an hour and a half. That was
Mhm.
at the
Yeah.
beginning, but eventually you started cutting down. Like you started just having a little bit, but like you started having little portions, smaller and
Right.
smaller portions, and then you get used to it, and then your body doesn't even crave that much food anymore. So that's what I done. So intermittent fasting,
Hmm.
one meal a day, that was my diet really, and just getting rid of
The
it can be
carbs.
different for people, yeah. So like I call them like your temptation. So it can be, some people have sugar, like I wasn't really that into sugar or anything like that,
Mm.
whatever it may be. But mine was carbs. And then as with training, I just simply implemented training twice a day. So I would eat once a
Wow,
day.
twice a
What?
day. How many
Yeah.
times a week?
I just stopped counting really, but that's like 5 times a week and then two
Wow,
days rest.
okay.
Um,
That's
yeah,
impressive, man.
but the beginning though, it wasn't that like hard. So I would just do, say in the morning, a little bit of weights,
Mm.
and then at night, like 15 minutes on the bike, or running for 5K or something like that. Just a
Mm.
light jog or something like that. And then like eventually as your fitness goes up, you increase those.
You
You start doing
increase it,
it
yeah.
longer.
So
Plus,
like, yeah, go on.
like I said, I just love spending time by myself, like
Mm.
and working on myself, going in the gym, just listening to music. So that was like my sense of peace, because at that
Mm.
time there was a lot of turmoil in my life, and there was a lot
Right.
of struggles. So mentally, that was like something that was helping me to kind of just navigate through life. That was like my home, that was my peace.
Yeah, man.
So
Like
that
I agree with you, like in the sense of like working out and like, you know, pushing your body through through workouts and stuff. It's like a really good it's like therapeutic and like a good stress
it
relief,
is,
you know?
most definitely, man.
And yeah, no, so I hear you, man. So like your meals is like, is it like just so you cut out carbs? Have you like increased the like a fat intake a little bit, or is it just basically like protein based or?
Um, just really protein based fats. Avocado would have a ton of avocados with good healthy fats.
Mm,
But I try to cut out pork. Pork isn't really good for anything really. I don't really
yeah.
believe that.
Mm.
So it's just really I have beef sometimes, but really lean meat like
So like chicken and
chicken,
fish.
yeah, chicken and fish. Salmon is one of my favorites, and then tuna here and then. Really just then and adding vegetables, and I also have a lot of seeds.
Okay.
So like I have pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, like they're really good for you. So
Mm.
that's why I implemented, and my body just kind of like everyone's different, right?
Yeah, we're
Like
just
the way their body works, and that's really what I found was good for me. I mean, I tried being vegan for a while. I remember my fight in 2017, I was vegan, and I was just severely like lethargic and just I don't know, I just didn't really feel strong. So that didn't fit for me. I mean, other people it might work, but
yeah.
as for me,
Everyone's different, man.
yeah, exactly. So
Everyone's different.
yeah, that's my diet really, and that's what I've maintained so far and until now.
Awesome, man. Um, so let's jump into the boxing side of things. So like, how did your Misfits journey start?
Let me just turn this on.
Sorry, man, lost you there.
Yeah, but that's actually quite funny because I've been pestering Mans for a long time. Like people say, like, "Oh, how did you get this opportunity?" Like, oh, I was actually like, I was supposed to be in. Do you remember the UK card in October last year?
What one
The
was
one in
that?
York Hall. The one in York Hall.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah, so
nine,
Gap and
oh
Laughs was
nine, I
there.
think.
Yeah, I think the 09 one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was that was the one I was really like targeting, and we was working towards that last year. But I had an injury. I had a dislocated shoulder during that time, so it
Okay.
kind of like set me back for a while. But like the Misfits, I just kept on messaging Mams and saying like posting my videos, tagging him, whether it be in YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything really. But the talent is always there for me. Like I've always loved boxing and I've always dedicated myself to the craft, even in my lowest. I would always, still be, focusing in boxing. But I just never really quite got the opportunity. Like, just like this guy over here, Rocky, I was just like that guy that had the talent but never really quite lived up to his full potential.
Right.
And there's plenty of guys out there that are like that, but a lot of them gave up. A lot of them stopped and quit.
Well, that's the thing, man. Giving up only has one guarantee, and that's it won't never happen.
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean?
Exactly. I mean,
So like long,
beautiful.
like, and also like I get what you mean in terms of like you're trying hard so much, and you're not catching that break. Then it can sort of knock you back. And then, but if you kept that, it eventually one door will open, and then you
Yeah.
come to realize after all the knockbacks and all the closed doors that were happening were leading up to this open door.
No, that's literally
Do you
exactly
get
my
what I'm
situation.
saying? So
Yeah.
like, no, all like a praises to you, bro, like for carrying on and not giving up and keep going, man. Because it was like very similar to me in my announcing career. It's just like even when I started and it all blew up in 2019 and going on the news and all the radio stations and stuff, then I got hit with COVID, which shut
Yeah.
down sports arenas
Everything.
and then at that point I had just decided to try to go down that route full time and there was no shows. Man, it was like really bad. It was like hell for me, man. But then
I
when
can
shows
imagine.
when shows started to come back, even when shows started to come back, um I'll go to a weigh-in, ready to do this show the next day, or gone to a weigh-in and then one fighter tested positive. That's it. The whole show's cancelled. And I'm just like,
I mean,
man.
how long did you have to wait for that since like 2020?
I can't remember, man, because then it went into tier four, I remember, and it was like really difficult. And I remember just even for the weigh-in and the day had to have to COVID tests left, right, and center. And then eventually, when it just slowly all fully got lifted and they allowed us like the capacity of halls and arenas to be full again, that's when it like sort of started being good again. But then my hype from going viral died down. So it's like I was forgotten. So I had to build my way back up. I've done countless small hall shows, man, and just built up. And then same way as you, I guess, just got your break into Misfits, you know,
I
and
respect that a lot, man. I respect that a lot. Like you
thank
said,
you.
like we have a similar journey, and it's
Yeah,
just
man.
not giving up, man.
That's it.
Like you
That
said,
is it.
if you probably never got that, that stop there, I mean, you probably would have gone in a different way. Like I assume you was doing it full time, like
Yeah,
being
I
an announcer.
was, man. And there was a part where, like, when the shows got fully cancelled, I had to do Just Eat, delivering food, driving
Yeah,
in the meantime because I got a house and a
got
mortgage. Do you know
grind,
what I mean?
man. That's what I'm saying.
I had to do it, and then any sort of small hall show came up, I'll take it, and then I just kept at it, at it, at it, and then
I
I
didn't
finally
know
got
that,
the
man. I
break.
respect that. I respect
Yeah,
that.
thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah, it's been a mad roller coaster, but it's good, man. And then now our paths hopefully will cross, man, and and get to announce you in the ring. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully, man, that'll be the dream, you know. Like in
Definitely,
the
man.
big stage review in there. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. And
Awesome.
really, like you said, I always believe that everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah,
And people
100%.
always said that like, oh, you're so talented, like you could have been a pro by now, you could have been an amateur with so many fights, so many wins, like you could have won so much things. But I never really had any of that, right? Because just life just got in the way. And when
Yeah.
life hits you, it doesn't matter how tough
But
you are, bro.
it's
Life
easy to
hits
say you could have, you could have, you could have, but sometimes if that's not what's destined for you, that's not what's destined for
exactly.
you. Do you
And you
get
know
what I
what?
mean?
Just like looking back at it, I would have never got this opportunity as Misfits if I was a 10-0 pro or like if I had like 50 fights
Oh
amateurs or
yeah,
something.
definitely not. No, definitely. Like,
That's what I'm
well,
saying.
obviously, definitely not. But like, it would have been hard.
Yeah,
It
because they
definitely
would have
would
been
have
like,
been hard.
this guy is serious, right?
Yeah.
So everything unfolded the way it had to, just for me to be in a bigger platform. So
Mm,
it's like a blessing in disguise that, like it was really just waiting for me to peak or
mm.
ripen at the best, time. And
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
so I mean, this is
So what
literally.
happened? Did you just get a message from Mams, or how did what was the point where you?
Me and Mams have been messaging each other like back and forth. Like I say,
Mm,
like, hey, can give me the opportunity? I'll change the game. You have to sell yourself. And then he was just like, yeah, of course. Yeah, like he'd say, like, I'll get you in one of these, like, build your following up. Because obviously, I'm a small creator for
mm.
at
Yeah,
the
man.
moment because I only really just started last year. Like
Okay.
everything, YouTube, Instagram, like just last year.
Yeah.
So within a year, I've done already a lot. But manager just saying that, you have the talent, but just build up your name and we'll see what will happen. And then obviously the tournament came up, you
Yeah, that was
know.
my next question as it goes. That was my next question. So about the lightweight tournament. So how did you feel when that got all announced? And what's your
I
thoughts on
mean,
it?
obviously I know the big names, like WALID Sharks. I've actually been watching him since 2019 and he's with his fight against Adam Saleh. And I
Okay.
just remember I was like, man, because this is back when I was like, because I went to like severe depression, right? I was
Mhm.
just sitting at home doing nothing. And this was during the time where I would just be so fat and just eating. I was like, man, what did they do with my life? Like I could beat these guys. Like, no disrespect to them, but I know I could beat these guys. Like, why are they getting opportunity and why are they getting on the big shows? And like, why am I here being such a loser and this and that? You have those
Mhm.
type of thoughts.
Yeah.
And really that played in me. And when the tournament really happened, I was like, is this real? Like, I'm gonna be against potentially against Waleed Sharks or like those big names. Like I just used to watch them,
Watch.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
used to watch them. Like it literally feels like a Rocky story.
Mm.
Like literally feels like, I'm Rocky going against Creed.
Mm.
But when the lightweight tournament was announced, I was looking at the names, And there was also another guy that I fought in the unlicensed scene with, Joey Knight.
Okay, yeah.
Me and Joey Knight actually fought in the same night, same card, same venue, same everything.
Oh, awesome.
Obviously he had a more successful career in the league than me,
Mm,
but it's just still nice to see that this is like the biggest influencer platform in the world, and it's just two
100%.
guys that came from like grassroots, essentially boxing level, and it's
Yeah.
just like I was like, wow, that's amazing. And obviously Yachty Gang and Lil Kra. Lil
Mm,
Kra is actually, we follow each other for a while. We stay in touch every now and then. We're not close friends like that, but I've always respected him, and
mm,
he reciprocated that throughout the years. And because in 2017, that's like when Lil Cray Cray like had started his YouTube stuff,
mm.
and at that time, I was actually already had established my YouTube, and that was when my YouTube was kind of growing. But then after my fight in 2017, I stopped everything. Like I kind of just died.
Right.
And then during that time, he's been putting in the work. And then it's just funny how the world puts you together, and then you meet in one place, right?
Yeah.
Just it's just crazy, like thinking about that. And
I
then
know
the
what you
live,
mean. I know exactly what you mean on that one.
it's crazy. I'm still really like dumbfounded right now. Like it just feels like a dream. But I don't let that get to my head.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
this is what the one opportunity that I have, and I'm gonna seize it, right? Seize the moment.
So you
But
don't know who you're facing yet? It's like they
well,
haven't
I mean,
announced who the
you're
opponents are, or
not officially, but Yachty Gang's fighting Lil Crocker, and then Joey Knight is fighting Baby Hope. So that's like four taken out already. So I could really
okay.
just potentially fight WALID Sharks, which would be
Hmm.
amazing. Like I'd love to go straight to the top, but I understand the game. You go, work your way up,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Ace Musa,
Hmm.
which will be quite a nice domestic fight. We're both British.
Hmm.
I've actually messaged him last year in 2023 in May, and he said, hey, let's go to war. I didn't hear anything back because obviously I'm a nobody, but shot my shot. And
Nah,
then
man, you're not a nobody. No one's a nobody, man.
oh, that's true. And the third one is the Argentinian King. So, I fancy my chances against any of those guys. Like I said, you probably see me train. Like I train all the time, like twice a day, and I train hard. And my coaches, I train with pros. Everyone like knows really what I bring to the table. Maybe not in the influencer scene, like no one really knows me there. But
Mm.
if you ask around in the professional scene, like I know, like I've been around the scene, and the professional coaches, I train with them, and they'll let you know.
Awesome, man. So like, let's just take the tournament at the equation for a second. If the tournament wasn't happening, which influencer would you like to face if you could take your pick?
Ooh, so within my division, right, a
Mm,
lightweight. Okay, so I'll obviously have it will be a dream fight to fight Dean the Great. That's number one.
yeah,
Then Adam Saleh is number two. I don't know if it's actually in there. And number three is Lil Crocker. Like I know that me and Lil Crocker will have like just one of those classics, like a Gatti Ward type of fight. Like it
right.
will just be war. Like I know his style, I know my style, and I know that's gonna be an amazing fight and probably gonna be the greatest fight in Misfits history. Not in
Okay.
terms of maybe not the biggest, KSI will always have the biggest this and that, but in terms of just like the most entertaining and fight of the year type of fight, it will be that.
Awesome, man. We're actually running out of time on this, so I've got one more question I just want to get in before this thing closes on us.
It's all right, man.
Um, so what's your final message to people, man? Like in terms of everyone that's followed you, growing with you in the times of all before all of these announcements of getting on Misfits and where you're going and where you're heading, just like what advice would you give to the people, man? Like what would be your final message, man, like to
I
people?
mean, this might be cliche.
Supporters and haters, just
Yeah, I mean everyone. This might be cliche, but just never give up.
mm,
Like life, I for a long time I thought there's nothing more to life than just I've had suicidal thoughts, like when I was, back in when I was severely depressed. But no matter what life throws at you, you just gotta keep throwing back. You just gotta keep going. Um, there is always gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Even no matter how dark your days are, if you just believe in yourself and keep on working and keep on grinding, eventually something will actually come of it. Like
Mm.
you just have to plant the seeds within yourself. And if there's a lot of people, negative people, bad people that's like pulling that seed away or trying to, dampen that, you just have to water it yourself. Separate yourself from the world if you have to. Be alone. Don't be afraid to be alone. And the number one lesson that I've, learned from this journey of, my essentially my exile from my passion is that you have to live life with passion, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be boxing, fighting. You just have to find that something that lights up your fire within,
Mm.
and never let that go. Never let that go, because life without that, it's meaningless. And I would say just failure is not final. Just keep on going. You lose, you win, it doesn't matter as long as you take the next step. That's the only thing. And that's my message to the world. And hopefully it helps someone.
Awesome, man. I hope it does too. Whoever listens and watches this video, I agree with everything you said. It is a mad roller coaster. Long as you stay on the ride,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then that's it. You eventually see where it leads. Do you know what I mean? But if you get off, then it's gone. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But yeah, man, awesome. Tasmanian Devil, thank you so much for jumping on
Thank
this
you. Thank you.
channel. Thank you for your time and the interview. Really means a lot, brother. Hopefully, I get to see you soon,
We'll be
and
seeing you.
hopefully get to like be happy to get you back on here, man, and do another interview with you
Oh yeah,
afterwards.
most
You know what I'm saying?
definitely. After my win, we'll definitely be back here, man.
Awesome, man. That really means a lot, brother. Thank you so much, man. And to everyone watching, please like and subscribe. Thunderbox channel. We're doing this. Peace out. Let's rag it with Tasmanian Devil.
Thank you. Thank you.